And here I am with Joceylin Fedrau from Capital Punishment. And we just love chatting about the old days. And before you even were in a punk band, you went up to San Francisco and you were from Ringley. And
Yes.
so you got the big eyes. And what'd you see? What'd you see?
When I went up to the shows in
Yeah.
San Francisco, well, I was surprised that, I guess the one thing I really liked about punk rock was that everybody could get on the stage, everybody, there was no real rock stars, everybody would talk to everyone, there was no adulation, and I think that's what kind of attracted me too,
Oh,
to
cool. Yeah, because it
And
was
made
a
made me
very
feel
big
like-
sharing.
It was, and it was very much against the I guess at the time the record labels and
Right.
more do-it-yourself, and that was very accessible for a lot of us that may never have had that experience. It gave a lot of people a chance to actually get on the stage.
So you were there like in the Mabuhay Gardens?
Yeah, that was my first
on
show.
Broadway. Mabuhay Gardens?
Yeah, I went and saw Pearl Harbor and the
I
Explosions.
love Pearl Harbor.
And of course
she
there
was
was a
my
woman.
first rockabilly show.
Oh, really?
Yes,
And,
yes.
a woman in the band.
And she was so
it was
cool.
great.
And you saw the Germs in Darby Crash.
Yes, I did, yeah.
And the movies kind of.
Yeah, I was at the Deaf Club, and there were actually, it was their club, but people actually that were hearing impaired. And
my
so it
goodness.
was really, it was really quite an experience to go to a bar where there are deaf people to watch a punk rock band. So that was, just kind of the whole genre, unexpected things like that with punk rock.
Yeah, and then again the openness of
Yeah, yeah.
embracing
Yeah.
something that would just not seem to fit together.
Right, and I remember, we went to an after-hours show, and actually it wasn't a show, it was just really a party, and they were begging to get money to fly back to L.A. They'd blown all the money that they had, and were, like asking people for change and
Right, how are they going to get home?
I know, and here they are, they're legendary.
Right.
Yeah.
How funny. You got to wonder how they got home.
Ours wasn't a unique experience, really small bands would play with really big bands in the punk rock scene,
How many years did Capital Punishment play?
Well, we had, I think, 5 different versions of the band, so I think it was 14 years altogether.
Who are the members that we're seeing in the background now? Of course, it's you and Dale.
Yeah, and Ralph Lotspeech,
Oh,
who
it's Rod? Okay.
was vocalist, and then Mike Branham, who
Okay.
was the drummer.
And that was what we saw on the video as well, too.
Yeah, that was actually, I think, our most popular version of the band, and we kind of reached our pinnacle of our success with that band.
You went to Germany with those guys?
Yes.
Yeah. I
we did.
remember that vaguely,
Yeah, we...
because that was a big deal.
Well, yeah, we took all our equipment on the plane, actually.
Oh,
through
carry
the
on?
luggage. Yeah, carry on. We took our guitars, and actually I remember Dale climbing up on the turnstile to grab the amps and my speaker cabinet as they came off. In
my goodness.
Amsterdam, we drove ourselves around in a bus, and actually, I think the stress of it, pretty much ended the band. we had a really good time while we did it, and it was such a big experience. What an eye-opening experience to go to Europe,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we had such a small, narrow view of the world, and this really opened it up.
What year was that?
That was in 1987.
In 1987.
Yeah.
Did
it
you
really
play? Who did
was.
you play with there? Anybody?
We actually, I don't know that we played with any big name bands.
Because you were the big name band going over there.
Yeah, I guess so. Being
Did you go to
from the
England
United
as
States.
well?
No, we heard it was too hard to get into England. That they wanted working visas, and
Oh, okay.
we couldn't do all that. It was expensive.
Right.
So-
And you were basically still very young.
Oh yeah, and it was we're
But you were
poor
punk
too.
rock and you didn't care. You just went for it. I love that part.
Yeah, it was really exciting, and driving yourself around Europe when
You can't read?
Yeah, and you've got to change money in every country.
Right, that was all.
You got to
those
figure
days.
out how to work the phone system, trying to call ahead. It was all, it was a lot,
Yeah.
and it was a big
We
experience.
didn't have the internet in those days.
Yeah, and no cell phones, and all that. So It was a big experience for us.
Who was
We
the
really
most
enjoyed it.
exciting person you got to meet?
Let's see. Gosh, I'll have to think about that. I think
For you.
Tim Yohannan, actually. He was he ran Maximum Rock and Roll, and I think Dale and I, he was our mentor, and
Okay.
he kind of opened the door for us, and I think when he passed away, the whole scene changed, and
Oh.
I think it was kind of the demise of, for my way of thinking of what punk rock was at the time, which was much more unified and had much more of a network. So-
Right.
But I think that would be the biggest person that I had met that meant the most to me and had the biggest effect on my life.
We're going to look at a little slideshow that Dale Stewart made of Joceylin, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on here. So, first one is you. Rocking out.
Yeah,
Is this your first show?
Yes,
Your
first base, first show.
Wow.
And this is Patty, who went by Wendy Williams, or I think, yeah.
Wendy West?
West at the time, yeah.
Altered image, altered.
Yes, she was lead vocals. Here's Dale and I at the first punk show in Fresno. Subtractions put on. It was the Dead Kennedy show.
Okay, at the Belmont Ballroom.
Right. This is at Roding Park. This is our first lineup with Eric Suda and Keith Johnson.
Wow.
Eric Suda is singing and Keith Johnson on the drums. And this is a show in Selma. Actually, we ended up playing wherever we could.
Of course.
This is like a shed in Selma. This is our warehouse that we used
The
to...
famous warehouse where you
the
practice.
Clovis warehouse where we practice. And we also put on a number of shows until we got kicked out. And this show here was the Minor Threat show at the Fulton House. And we actually have Mike Waldhart on guitar, and he's since passed away. So.
Okay.
And this is, I think, playing at La Pina in Oakland. And then there's the singer of Harsh Reality standing there behind me,
Oh, okay.
Todd Sharp. And this is me at the Knights of Columbus. You can see the emblem behind.
Yes, exactly. I went to shows at Knights of the Columbus.
Yeah, that was one of our best
Yeah,
halls.
they had lots of shows there.
I'm not sure where this was taken, to tell you the truth, but it's my gold lame, so.
Ooh, la la.
And this is just a back of our first, I think it was the back of our first album cover. It's the mock-up for it.
Uh-huh.
And then this is a shot of us in Chicago, I think the first tour. The
Okay.
Bologna tour.
The Bologna tour, that's our background today.
Bologna sandwich tour. And
I
then
get it.
This is Jimmy Hayes. Actually, Ralph on our second tour had to leave to go back to work. He could only get so much time off, and so Jimmy, our
I
roadie,
remember
sang
Jimmy.
for us. Yes, he was really good.
And I love this
I
picture.
think this is in Nebraska at the Brick. I think it was the Brick House, or playing a gig. And this is when Dale and I got married by Tim Biscup.
Oh, cool.
He'd gone online to become a minister, so we got married at Niagara Falls since we were there anyway.
How neat.
And this is our cover of Maximum Rock and Roll.
What year was that?
Oh, I think it was 1990.
Okay. Wow.
So we finally made it.
And what
Hit the
year-
big time.
And what year did he pass away?
Tim Yohannan, geez, I really don't know. What year? 98.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Yeah, he died of cancer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Didn't want any funeral. Didn't want any publicity.
Is there anything else you want to add to?
No, I'm really thankful that, I stumbled into punk rock. I don't think like I said, I don't think I ever would have been able to play in a band, or I would have never really tried. So I'm really happy I got into it and had the experience of being able to be a musician and play in a band.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. And thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
We can't wait to see you play somewhere down the road with the Dust Ups with
Yeah.
Dale, and Brad DuBois Rogers plays with you a little
Yes,
bit
he
sometime.
does.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's always a good time. Well, thank you for coming, and stay tuned. We'll see what else is going to come.